Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Larry Bichette back with my good friend, an alchemist, priestess, healer, Lindsay Sudeikis. Welcome back.
Thank you, Larry. Good to be here, Doctor.
I'm excited about today. We're going to give an example of what Lindsay does and how it helps people before and after. Before and after. What are the problems somebody has before? How do you help them? And what are they like after with your ancestral healing? I'm excited to hear this.
Yeah. Book a session. No, folks.
Book a session if this sounds like something that would help you. Absolutely.
Yeah. So folks come to me who are exploring their ancestral identities and paths and are having the before picture is they have a real sense of longing to belong. Like there's a absence of home or an absence of rootedness and kind of questions around who am I or like why am I here? Pretty existential questions.
Yeah, big stuff.
Yeah, which is I think probably why folks are tapping into things like 23andMe and Ancestry.com, and those things are giving them some data. But what I do is to invite people how to relate to that data, so that it's not just information, but there actually is a moment of, wow, if these are people, if I come from bones of my bones of my bones of my bones of my bones, like epigenetically, then what are some of the blessings of my people that I carry, and what are the burdens? And there's a model that I take folks through. And so what's powerful is kind of what brings people in is the burdens and the traumas. And what they quickly realize is that it's not all trauma and burdens actually in their blood lineages. There's goodness and nobility and relationality and a sense of joy and a sense of purpose. And so the outcome ends up being people being more dropped in to their bodies, more integrated, a sense of purpose of what it is that life, like a capital L, is calling them to, and like a sense of meaning and home, which is profound. It's a profound transformation. That's why I even use the word alchemy, actually, why I say alchemist, because in the dictionary definition, alchemy is defined as like a power or a process that transforms something in a mysterious or impressive way. And so really when we drop into a session, either one-on-one or in a group, it's clear that there's a power or a process that's happening that I'm just facilitating, and that really the person's wise and loving ancestors through my facilitation and the client are the ones where this mysterious and transformative process happens. So,
can you think of an example of a particular person, don't use their name, where you can give us this before and after kind of alchemy, this transformation?
Yeah, I would say...
Give me an example. What were they like beforehand?
Yeah, so a young man in Brooklyn who was just in the questions. He's in his early 30s and...
What in the questions? What do you mean?
What am I supposed to be doing with my life? Do I want a partner? And if I do, what kind of partner do I want? And am I living my life's purpose? And
these big questions.
So angst, and so profound. I do, mostly like these 3 sessions at a time, like kind of a package, because if you do 3, then you can get a rhythm with the work, and then you can kind of do it on your own.
Yeah.
And so each session afterwards, because I will ask, how you feeling after the drop-in, and he's like, this is like great, like I making these connections with, and then he was particularly dropping in with his father's people, so like that lineage, and he started to make all these connections between him and his dad, him and his brother, his younger brother, and so the outcome would be there's just a different kind of, he's more dropped in is the best way to say it.
It sounds like you felt better.
Yes, he felt better.
And did he, you said he was struggling with these big questions. Did he get answers?
Yeah.
Did he find a better sense of meaning and direction?
Yeah, absolutely. And even does production, and like a PA, like a production assistant, and has found like the work has become much more generative all of a sudden, much more life-giving all of a sudden, kind of.
Like for him
he's just had more gigs.
Into it.
And he's had literally more gigs have happened.
It's
there's like a tangible outcome of, because what happens is you're not you're not engaging with like some fairyland or some, you're talking and you're
fantasy.
Engaging. Yeah, fantasy. Yeah. You're relating and asking the help and the intercession of your blood ancestors. So if you think about it with you and me, or who's ever listening, if your grandmother has like an invested interest in you wanting to live your best life and level up and be happy and find a partner, if that's what you want in life,
or whatever it is,
it is, that much more your other the grandmothers before her and the grandmothers before her and the grandmothers
so it's
before
like tapping into that and getting all of them behind you.
Yes, precisely. And getting them all behind you.
Well, that feels kind of good.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing that right now.
Yeah, right.
Well, it does.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times it's easy to carry the sins of those behind us.
Right.
So you can kind of feel it as a burden weighing down on you. I like the perspective of, no, they're cheering for you.
Oh, yeah.
They want what you want and the good things. And
well, and I think, though, Larry, when you say that, and what I want to say to who's listening, it's important that when we do the work, I mean, there's a reason why there's practitioners in this work, that there's ritual safety, because you don't want to just engage with any of your grandmothers. It's really important that you connect with the ones that are wise.
Do you have some where you're like...
That's right, you put a boundary with. Oh. Just how when you walk into your workplace, and you can kind of get a sense when you read the room that like not all are equally well. Like some are going through a rough time, and you maybe put up like a healthy, energetic boundary there. In a similar way, our people, they're not all equal. Those who transition aren't